Hey guys! Yep, today was Disney Plus Day. Basically about a week or so after the anniversary of Disney Plus, which I do have, and hopefully still have. Financially right now it's kind of up in the air, but I think I do have it, so don't worry about that. Actually, I was one of the first to basically get Disney Plus when they announced it, so there you go. But anyway, Disney Plus Day is what it's called. Disney Plus Day came out with several announcements on stuff that are coming to their platform. You know, it's coming to the platform within the next year, couple of years, and all that. The one complaint that some people have about it is they kind of structured it in a very awkward way. And what I mean by very awkward way is they didn't specifically give announcements as, you know, they did give announcements, but they didn't give, like, you know, specific dates and all that when it comes to, you know, a lot of the things they announced. Now, what I have here, and although the print seems a little bad because we're running low on ink, what I got here mostly is a lot of the announcements they made today. Now, this is from IGN. This article. It was an article by Adam Bankhurst. It was updated at 12 p.m. noon. It was posted originally at 8:42 a.m. this morning and then updated around noontime today, lunchtime. And this is basically a lot of the announcements that they made for what is coming in the next couple of months, next year, next couple of years, stuff like that. So to start off, they gave us a preview. It was a concept art preview for the upcoming ObiWan Kenobi series, Star Wars ObiWan Kenobi series. And the new preview reveals a Darth Vader lightsaber battle, but there's no trailer. You know, that's what they described here on IGN. And 3C Films, I'll provide his video here in the section if you want to check it out there. And John Campia did a live stream reaction, so I'll hook that up here too at the end. But yeah, there is no trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but they did show a concept of him and Darth Vader battling each other on Darth Vader's planet, on the planet, a home planet of Darth Vader or something like that. So yeah, apparently what Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to do is show us everything that happens after Revenge of the Sith and builds towards New Hope and everything, you know, from Obi-Wan Kenobi's point of view, you know, with who he interacts with and stuff like that. And the battle with Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, who is once again portrayed by Hayden Christensen. You know, basically that's going to be one of the moments that, you know, takes place as we build the bridge, I guess, between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope through things like Obi-Wan Kenobi. But honestly, basically, I look forward to it. You know, I look forward to it because I know some people may not be totally on board with a lot of these spin-offs, you know, Disney Plus series and all that, you know, feature characters from the Star Wars lore. But I look at it like, if you're going to, you know, expand on the lore, and in a way you got George Lucas's blessing to do so, then I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if you're trying to fill in the gaps. You're trying to fill in, you know, those, you know, you're trying to fill in the gaps, but you're also trying to answer those questions a lot of fans have and all that when it comes to, like, what happened between, you know, like with Revenge of the Sith being, you know, episode 3 before episode 4, which was New Hope. Obviously, a lot of fans want to know exactly what happened between the two. So, you know, shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of fill in that gap. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm willing to give it a chance. So, you know, there's that. They do say that the first teaser trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi may not may not feature any footage from the Star Wars series, but it does show off, like, highlights and, you know, and all that, you know, concept art and everything to build towards it. Now, it's supposed to come out next year, next year, so that's going to be good. And like I said, I'm willing to give it a chance. The other thing they announced today is every new Disney Plus Day release had been, released today. Basically, this being Disney Plus Day, there's a lot of them that are now part of Disney Plus for free. You don't have to worry about premium or anything like that. So, for example, you get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's on Disney Plus now, no charge. Jungle Cruise is on there. Home Sweet Home Alone, which a lot of people feel like is unnecessary, an unnecessary addition to the Home Alone series. The World According to Jeff Goldblum, Season 2, Episodes 1 to 5. Olaf Presents. Ciao Alberto is on there. Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett. Marvel Studios 2021 Disney Plus Day Special. Pixar 2021 Disney Plus Day Special, and much more. Basically, those two ones, Marvel and Pixar, are just short little things. Like the Marvel one is about 14 minutes, 15 minutes, and the Pixar one is about 4 to 5 minutes to show you what's in the works and everything. Now they do go into more detail about it. Under the Helmet, Legacy of Boba Fett, the story of the galaxy's most famous bounty hunter. Basically, it's a documentary feature under the helmet. Talking about the history behind the character and how it became so popular. Now they do talk about a few other ones that are coming in the next year or so. From a Marvel standpoint, they did show teaser footage because they did that 14-minute Marvel presentation on Disney Plus that you could see. And one of the things they showed at the end was a couple of the new series coming to the MCU on Disney Plus, and that is Moon Knight, which they did show footage of, which looks really good. She-Hulk, they didn't show her completely, but they showed, what she'll look like transformation-wise up to like the back of her head. And they did show Mark Ruffalo's character of Hulk, basically the hybrid character of Bruce Banner and Hulk now as one, working with She-Hulk, working with Jennifer Walters. And apparently they do throw in the line of Jennifer, basically saying, don't get me angry, you would not like to see me angry, or don't get me mad, you wouldn't like to see me mad. Something that Bruce Banner would say when it comes to people pushing his buttons, and it turn that's if pushed enough, basically it turns him into the Hulk. So she's saying basically, hey, don't get me mad, don't get on my bad side, or else you're not gonna like what you get. And then of course Miss Marvel, the news about that is that Miss Marvel, originally scheduled I think for the end of this year, beginning of next year, has been pushed to the summer of next year. And I think the reason for a lot of these pushes or delays, temporarily or not, is all because of what's going on. I mean, we know that the U.S. is getting the U.S. government, basically state governments and all that, businesses, they're getting very strict on people getting the COVID vaccine, even though people are not wanting to get it because they feel, hey, it's not necessary if we're hitting this high number. And I don't blame them if they feel like there's something suspicious. Like I said, everybody's got an option. If they don't want to get it, they don't want to get it. But that option apparently is kind of like pushing against them now. It's coming back to bite them. But also they have an opinion. If they feel like there's something more to it, and they want proof that there's nothing more to it than what they're suspecting, then they deserve at least some kind of answer, I guess, in their own opinions, if you will. I mean, take a look what happened with Ice Cube and the fact that he's not going to be on a movie anymore because of that. Or look at what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and everything. These people are basically saying, look, we don't want to get the vaccine because we don't think there's any real need for it if our numbers are at a positive rate. And as I was trying to say, people being suspicious about it, they do have rights to be suspicious. I mean, now, some of the news sites, mostly ABC, is starting to report new COVID-19 cases rising up in several states already, mostly states known for the winter cold and all that. And some could be very suspicious about that, and they'll be like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And again, as I've mentioned before, basically, sometimes what the news does, and even the government does, is they fabricate, something, being worse than what it is. Even though when you watch the clip, it'll say, it will show a number that's not as bad as the headline is making it out to be. But they do that because in their minds, their point of view, it'll get people to go like, oh, okay, I'll go get the vaccine. Pop, 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 pop. And that's it. That's their mindset. They not realizing that people won't buy into that. Like, people will watch it and be like, oh, yeah, sure, look at this number. That's bad. Whoopee! It's just, it's just the way the news outlets, do things. But yeah, basically, it's one of those situations, obvious, but it's just one of those situations to where something like Miss Marvel, originally scheduled for the end of this year into early next year, has to get pushed back because some people have that belief. But yeah, they show footage of that, and it all looks good. It really looks good. There's no doubt. They did talk about a new Spider-Man series coming out. It is an animated Spider-Man series called The Freshman Year. And according to the article here on IGN, it says Disney announced 3 new Marvel series along with the ones that I just talked about that will all look to explore different parts of the MCU. So Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and She-Hulk, those series are basically their introduction into the MCU, thus integrating them into what will be later on into, like, whatever is the climax of Phase 4 or Phase 5, whatever the case may be. But then, they're making the announcement they're going to explore other avenues as well. Other parts of the MCU. Like Spider-Man Freshman Year, according to the article here, is an animated series that follows Peter Parker, on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU. With a journey unlike we've ever seen, in a style that celebrates the character's early comic book roots. It is yet unknown if Tom Holland will lend his voice to the character, or if he will be played by a newcomer. Jeff Tramelin will serve as executive producer and head writer. And what Spider-Man Freshman Year is, basically, as it's described here, it basically gives us a look into how, Peter Parker is, becoming Spider-Man, like maybe how he became Spider-Man, but it's showing us from the lens of, when he starts high school and all that. And this obviously might take place a year or so before he meets up with Tony Stark, and then that's, and gets integrated basically into the MCU because of that. Alright, the other one they announced was Agatha, House of Harkness. It is a new series that will star Kathleen Hahn as her character from WandaVision. Jen Schaefer will serve as executive producer and head writer. Now, we don't know much about Agatha, House of Harkness. I mean, the last time we saw Agatha, basically Wanda used her magic, her now enhanced powers, to basically put her into the mindset of the Agatha television character. If you will, that she was pretending to be, and now she basically wanted us put her into that, for the time as a bit of punishment, like, making her, live out this fictional life in a real setting. So basically that's the last we saw of her. There is rumor that she might be playing a part in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And that may be what leads us into Agatha, House of Harkness. But again, we don't know much about it just yet. All we know is it's going to feature her. We don't know if it takes place after Multiverse of Madness. We don't know if it takes place after WandaVision. Well, maybe over time, Agatha starts realizing that, she's, Wanda, starts remembering who she really is. And then finally, gets her memories back. And she realizes that Wanda put her under this spell as punishment. And maybe she tries to get revenge, or maybe she thinks about, what she did that put her into that state thanks to Wanda, and now she's like, I have to find a way to redeem myself. We don't know. People are speculating it could be something like a series where you take a look at, parts of the MCU from Agatha's point of view. Like, you see her get involved in certain situations during certain significant events that we've seen in, like, movies or shows, but we see it from her point of view and her interactiveness. There's a lot of speculations as to what it could be. My thought is it's gonna take if I was to make a bet as to when I think it takes place, I think it takes place after Multiverse of Madness, because Wanda remember, Agatha, before Wanda put her into that state, said, "You're going to need me. You're going to need my help." And Wanda's like, "If I do, I know where to find you." And I think that's what's going to lead into Agatha her memories being restored and everything to kind of help out in the Multiverse of Madness. So it's going to be interesting and intriguing as to what directive they go with the series. But again, my bet is on taking place after Multiverse of Madness. Marvel Zombies. It is going to be an animated series that reimagines the Marvel Universe as a new generation of heroes battling against an ever-spreading zombie scourge. This will be directed by Brian Andrews. Now, Marvel Zombies, now everybody's speculating would it take place, in the same universe as What If Marvel Zombies? Not exactly. It's basically a new generation of heroes battling against an ever-spreading zombie scourge. And what that kind of tells me is that sounds like it's on the levels of something like The Walking Dead. Like when you get killed or infected, you become a zombie and you go to the side of the zombies. What it sounds like to me is you got a new generation of heroes probably in the future taking on a zombie scourge of undead heroes that have passed on, like a Captain America, like an Iron Man, like a Spider-Man, something like that. So that'll be really interesting, and maybe from what it says, by spreading zombie scourge, we might get one of the heroes get infected and all that in the long run. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting. So next up we have Secret Invasion. And during the presentation, they offered a first glimpse at a patchless Nick Fury. It says Disney Plus Day brought us the first image from Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, and it features none other than Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. A Nick Fury with a beard and without his iconic eye patch. So we're going to see him without the eye patch, apparently. He's going to go with a new look. They go on to say that multiple Disney Plus MCU shows get new logos, including She-Hulk and Ironheart. It says, while we didn't get a substantial updates on every upcoming Marvel series heading to Disney Plus, we were treated to some new logos for She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, Echo, who's a Daredevil character, Ironheart, and more. Some of those other ones will be in like Groot series and all that. It said the other thing they talked about was Baymax, an original series based on characters from Big Hero 6, arrives next summer. And continuing on, they say not only did we get a summer 2022 release window for Baymax, an original series that is based on the characters from Big Hero 6, but we also got a trailer showing what fans can expect from the new show. So that's pretty cool. And then another one, I'm going to do a separate video on this because there's an article on it as well. And it's something that I'm actually looking forward to. X-Men 97. X-Men 97 is the original series arriving in 2023. So we got another year and a half before that shows up. It says the 1990s X-Men, the animated series continue. Oh, not continue with it. Let me reread that. Let me read that, and I quote. The 1990s X-Men, the animated series cartoon is being revived in 2023 as X-Men 97. The Wrap has reported that will pick up. Oh, it will. Let me reread that. It says the Wrap has reported that it will pick up where the original series left off, and many of the same voice actors will return to their roles, including Carl Dord as Wolverine, Leon Zan as Rogue, George Buzza as Beast, and more. And then there's an article that talks about that. They talked about, and they showed concept art for Cars on the Road. Yeah, Cars on the Road brings Owen Wilson labor. Okay, let me read that. It says Cars on the Road brings Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy back as Lightning McQueen and Mater. Basically, it says in 2022, Owen and Larry will return to voice Lightning and Mater respectively in the Disney Plus original series Cars on the Road. So that's going to be an adventure series where they're like going on road adventures and all that. Wonder if they'll get Bonnie Hartbeck as the Sally car, if you will. The other one they announced was the Princess and the Frog original series Tanyana follows the newly crowned Princess of Madeira on a new adventure. And it says here, Disney Plus gave fans a first look at the Princess and the Frog's original series, Tanyana, an original story that follows the newly crowned princess of Madeira on a new adventure, but her New Orleans past isn't far behind. So it's technically, in a sense, like going to be like Tangled, Ever After, or Tangled Adventure, Rapunzel's Adventure, or whatever it is. But it's going to take place after Princess and the Frog. The other one they got upcoming, Zootopia Plus, is a new short-form series heading to Disney in 2022. Zootopia Plus looks to tell new short-form stories of many of the animals seen in Zootopia in 2022. And it said that they shared a first-look image of some of the stars of the series for Disney Plus Day. The other thing they announced for Hulu, because Disney owns a majority stake in Hulu, is Prey, which is a Predator sequel. It says here that the new prequel, I should say, Prey, a new Predator sequel, basically, that's going to come straight to Hulu, because it's, like I said, Disney owns a majority stake in Hulu. It says, a new Predator prequel movie, Prey, is on its way from director Dan Trachtenberg and will be released on Hulu in summer 2022. The film is set 300 years ago and will star ignorant actor Amber Mundunda as Naru. Set in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago, the action thriller follows Naru, the skilled warrior who fiercely protects her tribe against a highly involved alien predator. And then, of course, they gave first. So that's going to be interesting. If you're a fan of Predator, it sounds like that's going to be an interesting prequel. Now, you might say, why did they call it Prey? It's the same reason that the Aliens prequel was called Prometheus. You know, give it a different name, but set in the same universe, and kind of give you an idea of how this all came to be. They also talked about the fact that the first clip was revealed from Peter Jackson's The Beatles Get Back 3-part documentary. It says the first clip from The Beatles Get Back, a 3-part documentary from Peter Jackson, was revealed as part of the Disney Plus Day celebrations. The special will begin streaming on November 25th, Thanksgiving. So yes, on Thanksgiving we're going to get that. And then it says Andy Samberg and John Mullen's Chippendale Rescue Rangers will debut in 2022, spring of 2022. Billed by Disney as a reboot comeback, 30 years in the making, or initially a comeback, 30 years in the making. The Chippendale Rescue Rangers original movie will premiere on Disney Plus in 2022, spring of 2022, and will star John Mullen and Andy Samberg as the legendary Chipmunks. And you also have to wonder if they're going to get Jim Cummings and Trix McNeely to come back as Gadget and Monterey Jack. Of course, they also gave us a first look at Hocus Pocus 2. In the show, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker. Excuse me, let me reread that. It's basically the reporting, and I did see this to courtesy of 3C Films. They gave us a first look at Hocus Pocus 2, and that first look was Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy in the sequel, basically reprising their roles, arriving in fall of next year. And they did tell us that the live-action Pinocchio gets a fall 2022 release window. The new live-action take on Pinocchio will officially debut on Disney Plus in fall of 2022 and will star Tom Hanks. It will star Tom Hanks, Catherine, Cecil Enono, Luke Evans, Benjamin Evan Amsworth, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Kai Mango Key, and Lorraine Baracco. Sorry if I pronounced those names wrong. The film is being directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it showed some concept art on that. It looks really good. And that's coming in the fall of 2022, so it still gives them enough time to fix things up. Ice Age, the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild and the Return of Simon Pegg. The Adventures of Buck Wild and the Return of Simon Pegg, an Ice Age spin-off series, is coming. It says Ice Age is back with a new original movie in the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. The film will join Disney Plus on January 28th, 2022, and Simon Pegg will be returning to voice the turtle character. He will also be joined by his prankster possum buddies, Crash and Eddie, and many of the original characters will make an appearance as well. Pegg also shared a video to celebrate Disney Plus Day to show his ice sculpture skills, which run into a bit of a problem. And there's also going to be a series to go along with the movie, so the movie is going to serve as a prequel to the series. Chiba by the Dozen reboot will be released in March of next year. And it's going to have Gabriella Union and Zach Braff as the main characters. So that's coming next year. Disney's Disenchanted will debut on Disney Plus in 2022. They had Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey share not only the fact that it is Enchanted on Disney Plus now as of today, but its sequel Disenchanted will be released in 2022. No date in 2022 has been given either, but we can assume maybe spring or summer, maybe even Christmas. Who knows? And it says Warwick Davis, the guy that played Willow and Leprechaun in the Leprechaun movies, gave people behind-the-scenes look at the original series that will debut in 2022 as well. It says 2 Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies will be joining Disney Plus before the end of 2022. That, of course, being the self-titled Diary of the Wimpy Kid, and basically the other one, Roderick Rules. They'll both be showing up next year. And then they showed a trailer for the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. That got a new trailer. I haven't seen the trailer, but from what I can tell already just by the images, it looks really good. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder is set to arrive on Disney Plus in February 2022. And Disney Plus Day saw the premiere of a new trailer, which I thought, again, I didn't see, but from what I can tell by the images, looks really good. It's Better Nate Than Ever will premiere in spring of 2022. Chase your dreams and be a star when Better Nate Than Ever arrives on Disney Plus in spring 2022. The original movie stars Aaron Brooks, Michelle Pfeiffer, Ruben Wood, Nobet Lee Blitz, Lisa Kudrow, and Joshua Bassett. Then they showed concept art for the Spider-Man Chronicles live-action series. Not a movie, but a series that is coming. Nickelodeon did a movie instead, if you want to look at that. Then they're doing a new take on Cinderella called Sneakerella, and they're putting the male character who basically creates these sneakers and everything, in the role of a Cinderella, and basically his Princess Charming has to come look for him by matching up the sneaker that he left behind. Then they showed trailers for Will Smith and Chris Hemsworth's National Geographic series. It says they're starring in 2 separate National Geographic special series that will send them across the world on breathtaking adventures. Will Smith's Welcome to Earth will premiere on December 8th and will take Smith to the ends of the earth to see more of the magical places on our planet. In 2022, Limitless with Chris Hemsworth will push the boundaries of human potential and will try to answer the question, how can we live longer and stronger? America the Beautiful will show the wonder of the United States wilderness. That will be in 2022. It'll take you to places across the United States to see the beauty that makes the land what it is. And then it says High School Musical, the series, season 3 is going to feature some Frozen songs. It says it will return for a 3rd season in 2022 and looks to feature songs from Frozen, including Love is an Open Door. And then Intertwined is available now on Disney Plus. Intertwined is a new original series that is now available to stream on Disney Plus. According to the official description, traveling through time can get a little twisted, especially when it's to 1994. Okay. And that's about it. And it looks like it's a good line. It looks like, from what they revealed, it looks very good, very promising for Disney Plus. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say that some of that, isn't, bad or anything. But it looks really good. I mean, there are a couple of hiccups I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be, very judgmental about. But from what I can tell, I like it. I like the ideas of the Marvel series. I really do. There's a lot you could do with that. The fact that, Rescue Rangers, and I'll probably do a separate video on this, is being looked at as a comeback, instead of a reboot or a soft reboot comeback, whatever you want to call it, I think it's great. I love the idea of X-Men 97, being a straight sequel to the original. So, yeah, from what I can tell, a lot of this looks good, and very promising, and that's all I can really say. That's all I can really say on it. But I'll give it. I'll look at it this way. Even though some people said it was kind of awkward the way they presented Disney Plus Day today, I have to say they did a heck of a job. You know, for the way they showcased it. Because according to Chris on 3C Films, you had to go almost back and forth from Disney Plus to Twitter to Disney Plus and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think they did pretty good. I think they did pretty good, and you know, with the presentation, and I cannot wait to probably give some of these a chance. I could definitely tell you, if I have Disney Plus by 2023, which I will, I'll tell you this: if they decide to also put it on Disney XD, if there's still a Disney XD by then, I'm definitely DVRing every single X-Men 97 series or episode, whatever. But I will be doing that. But yeah, I think the lineup looks good, and that's all I can say on it. But let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think of some of these announcements? Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere, which I hopefully you have. Like the video. Check out the Teespring store. Also check me out at BW Rose's discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at BW Roses on VENMO for content you can't get anywhere else except there and not here on YouTube. Also check me out at Patreon at BW Roses for the $1 or $3 tiers. Excuse me, whatever your choosing may be. Also, check me out at Venmo if you want to donate there as well. But let me know what your thoughts are on the whole Disney Plus announcements, and I'm out.